Bill, let's begin with the one thing bank CEOs are sure to remember for years to come: the record amount of fines and settlements and penalties that banks have paid. Eric Holder, the Attorney General, said just the other day that the DOJ had collected almost $25 billion in civil and criminal settlements from banks this year.
Which, of course, began in November of 2013
with JP Morgan.
$13 billion from JP Morgan. So I guess if you're the biggest sheriff in town and have the biggest, sort of arsenal of weaponry, you can, force Wall Street to pay these fines.
And it's not over. Morgan Stanley
absolutely not over.
This was kind of the year where it seemed like they finally got the guts, right? They finally got the guts. They went after the banks. And some are saying this is sort of the sea change this year in fines.
I don't see this as guts. I see this as something that benefits justice. It benefits the banks because they just pass that cost on to their shareholders. Justice gets to say, look at all the money we made and go to Congress. And the one thing we don't ever get is a real trial where we learn things about how the industry works.
That's exactly right. I completely agree with that. They're able, with these settlements, to sweep under the rug the real details of what went wrong.
Yeah.
And of course, there's no accountability whatsoever. So basically, you have your shareholders paying these big fines. As we know, Jamie Dimon got a big raise in early 2014 for settling with the DOJ in 2013. And the stock is gone up. I mean, stocks generally have gone up. Wall Street stocks have gone up. So Wall Street shareholders are saying, we can deal with this easily, even though it's all coming out of their pockets.
It smacks of deals cooked up in dark rooms.
Well, more than it is deals cooked up in dark rooms.
And we did hear about that with the Carmen Segarra tapes as well, right?
I want to talk about deals.
That's a different kind of angle on it.
Yes.
I want to talk about deals cooked up in dark pools. That was the other issue that came up this year, which was high-frequency trading. And Eric, you talked to Michael Lewis after Flash Boys, right?
Sure, because high-frequency trading is a matter of much debate, and it didn't take long for Stephanie and I to get into it with Michael Lewis over this allegation he's made in his book and verbally on several occasions that the stock market is rigged. Here's Michael Lewis.
Well, it's rigged only in as much as rigged.
So let's use the
analogy.
Why are you so invested in the idea this is fair? Why are you even arguing about this? It's so clear.
Me?
Yeah, you seem to be. So why?
Actually, we've just been asking
it's
questions.
very interesting. No, but you seem to be. You can see it's very clear that people are being front run in the market.
Michael Lewis in your face, Eric.
Very clear.
Yeah.
Very clear that people have been front-running the market. Michael Lewis knows that I don't think it's very clear. I think that there's some evidence to suggest that there have been, some things that you might find. I don't. You put words to it, Bill.
Look. First of all, we can stipulate that Michael Lewis is absolutely the best at sort of getting attention to an issue on Wall Street. There's nobody who even compares to it. So the truth is,
of course, credit where credit is due.
Mm-hmm.
Front-running stocks, big investors front-running stocks, that's been going on a very long time.
Well, but just because it's been going on, I mean,
at all.
We can be shocked that there's gambling in this casino, but just because it's been going on for a long time doesn't mean that it's not either wrong or at least not completely in the fiduciary interest of their clients.
Look, I heard Brad Katsuyama, who was the subject of Michael's book, speak at the Council on Foreign Relations in the fall. And he was basically, as he did, I think, a little bit, and I don't want to put words in his mouth, a little bit in front of Congress when he testified, he's sort of walking back some of the things that he said to Michael, some of the more outrageous things, and he did do that again at the CFR.
Maybe there's mixed feelings on Brad's part about being the hero of Michael Lewis's book.
Let me just...
I'm going to, for a moment, just quote my co-anchor, Stephanie, and say that this strikes me as a case where you don't hate the player, you hate the game. This is all a result of the 2007 Reg NMS, right, the national market system that changed the landscape of equity trading, that gave life to all of these alternative trading systems and dark pools and created the opportunity for high-frequency trading to exist. So if you want anything to change, you've got to talk to the regulators.
I agree.
Okay, let me just say here, though, one person who hates the game, though, is Elizabeth Warren, right? So, and
the
she
game writ large.
Exactly, the game writ large, and her so-called, as Wall Street bankers have said, her jihad against Wall Street. Look, you know, she took aim throughout the year, but we just heard earlier this month on the Senate floor when she lambasted the omnibus bill because it let through or rolled back some of the Dodd-Frank provisions. So here's what she said at that time.
You know, Wall Street is doing very well. CEOs are bringing in millions more, and families all across this country are struggling. We have to make this government work for the American people.
How about we turn Senator Elizabeth Warren from senator to president?
My
thank
favorite
you.
part about that clip, by the way, is poor Chuck Schumer trying desperately to kind of be in the background but not be too close to Elizabeth Warren.
I mean, you know, as Rodney King would say, you know, can't we all just get along? I mean, it does no good to be so polarizing. The economy needs Wall Street to work, function properly, to be fixed so that what happened in 2007 and 2008 does not happen again. But that doesn't mean that you like antagonize everybody who works on Wall Street. That makes absolutely no sense, and that shows her failure to understand.
Bill, you just said though that the banks swept. But you just said
and that's
a few moments ago that the Department of Justice did nothing.
Both
and
things
swept
can be
everything
true, Betty.
under the
and that
rug.
is a fact, and she's right about that. But that doesn't mean that, like, take Antonio Weiss, okay, the Undersecretary of Treasury nominee. Just because he's worked on Wall Street doesn't make him evil.